Welcome back again to the League OS Champs channel. We just had a fantastic matchup between Yano Problem and Dumb and Dumber. That one ended in a sweep. But Joseph, UT Adverse, BBU, Orangatang, we step it up to Tier 1, the best of the best that League OS has to offer here in LOS Champs. Hope you're doing great. I'm ready for this one because it's Tier 1. It's the best of the best.
Absolutely. We have now stepped it up to the top tier. We have gone up all the way to the top of the skyscraper, and we are here to see that level of play. I mean, right now, like I said, as I was looking over the stats myself, I mean, UT Adverse 2-1 currently, 3 games won, 5 games dropped currently, with 12 shots in goal and 14 shots on goal allowed. In comparison to BBU Orangatang, they're at 1-2, 4 wins and 7 losses. They put up a little bit more shots on goal. They have 17, but they have allowed 25. So I think offensively, they are definitely clicking a little bit more, but defensively, they need to be a little bit stronger there. And I mean, with 3 players on the field, because we are in fact having 3v3s. In fact, having 3v3s this time. So, you know, maybe they'll be able to figure it out. You know, in those 2s, you don't have that third man, obviously. You don't have that other option, as I'd like to call it, where you can play things a little bit safer. You can do things a little bit smarter, and you can try to spread out the field a little bit differently. It's something that I love to see when we are watching 3s. Is there's a reason why professional Rocket League Championship is played 3v3s, because that's the level where you're going to see a lot of things happening, and you're going to see a lot of players on the field that are really just going to be creating some chaos out there. So we'll see what happens in this one, but I'm telling you right now, I think I'm going to go with the perceptive underdogs of BBU Orangatang, because they seem like a little bit more of a pesky bunch, I guess is what I'll call them. And we'll see if they can come out on top. I think we're going to be able to see a little bit more than 3 games. I think we're going to go the distance. I think we're going to go, it'll be 3-2 in favor of BBU Orangatang.
That's a hot take. I mean, we see BBU Orangatang, they played in season 0 in tier 1. They played in the invitational tournament that kicked the season off. They were really successful in both of those leagues. They were, I believe, undefeated until week 5 of the first season 0 of LOS Champs. So this team, they are a very strong team. They have very good team chemistry. They're really, really tough to play against. But you got to look at UT Adverse here. They have Comp. They have Adverse. These 2 players are 1900 plus 2K players that are on it. They are semi-pro players. So they know what they are going to. They know what they're doing. BBU Orangatang knows what they're up against tonight. I'm going to take UT Adverse in this one in 4 games, but I hope to see a game 5. Both these teams looking to advance. UT Adverse, again, like you said, 2-1. Orangatang at a 1-2 record. This is the same situation as we saw in the last series. One team at 2-1, one team at 1-2. That's the beauty of a Swiss bracket, is that we see 2 teams that are really close in record. Both teams really need a win right now. UT Adverse at 2-1. If they win, they're kind of, again, up in that upper echelon of teams, kind of moving into the second half of the season here in Orangatang. They really need this one to get back to 500 on the season, unless they drop down into the lower half of the Tier 1 district. But again, this is Tier 1. This is 3, so we're going to see more of a cohesive unit from both of these teams. Hopefully, Tier 1 being 1850 plus. All these players in GC3 SSL range. So all these players are going to be really good and really fun to watch.
Absolutely. And I just want to take a step back and just say I have no disrespect for UT Adverse. Obviously, I know Comp coming from, if you look at the background, he's played with my boy Spoods back there. So, I mean, I know what he has to offer, trust me. But I also just think that this BBU Orangatang team just seems, like I say, like a pesky bunch. And sometimes when you get nagged, when you get prodded, when you get poked, you know, sometimes it just puts you out of position and makes you feel off and you just can't get back on. And if they can find a way to continue that level of just, you know, poking and prodding away at their defenders, you know, and then getting back defensively at the same time. Because like I said, offensively, they're definitely striking. But defensively, as long as they can start to put up a wall, and that's the beautiful thing about a season, there's progression. Week after week, you got to step it up. You got to figure out where the holes are. And if the holes aren't offensively, then start to work on your defense more. Maybe it's a lapse of communication. maybe it's a certain player that just needs to step it up. I don't know exactly what it is, but like I said earlier, in Series 1, the best thing about this league is on any given day, any player can step it up and really make a name for themselves. And, maybe it'll be one of the amateur professional players that'll do that today. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. And like we said, BBU Orangatang, these guys have been playing together for a while. This is now their second season, including the invitational tournament that we had in the beginning of the season where they placed pretty well in that one. So this team is going to be really tough to beat. Their team chemistry is really strong. The bonds between these guys is really, really strong. UT Adverse representing 2 semi-pro players. Their third, not really sure who it is quite yet, but they may not be at the same skill level, so we may see a bit of a chemistry problem between those 3 players, because in order to have a very strong unit, your players kind of have to be on the same level. So that could be a problem we see tonight with UT Adverse. But I mean, it's comp and adverse. It's going to be really tough for them to kind of come over that hill that Orangatang is already going to be on top of with that team chemistry. It seems like we may be having a couple problems with the player, but we will see what we can get here. But again, this is Tier 1. Both these teams are the best of the best that LOS Champs has to offer. And again, without a doubt, this one is going to be a fantastic one. That brings me into my next point, the Enthusiast package. You can't go wrong with the Enthusiast package, the newest subscription opportunity for LOS Champs. Offer some support for LOS Champs, for Cookies, and everybody that is behind the league. The Founders Circle promotion is what this one is. You get the Enthusiast title in the League OS Discord, as well as on the website. A fully customizable profile. You get a day 1 promotion for being a part of the Enthusiast package as well. You get a members only Discord channel, as well as customizable nameplates, hero images, and as well as a expandable trophy case. So all of those beautiful perks, as well as future discounts towards other packages. So it's going to be a fantastic chance for everyone to show their support, get those brand new titles, the Enthusiast title, and $20 a year or $2 a month. So you got 2 different options. Pretty cheap. It's a great opportunity to show some support for League OS, the ones that are putting this whole thing together. So again, the Enthusiast package is available for you today. Go purchase. I bought mine last week and I love it.
Absolutely. Sign me up. I mean, if I was a player of this league, that sounds like something you absolutely want to have. You said an expandable trophy case. So as you're just dominating the league, you can just keep on showcasing all the trophies that you earned. That sounds amazing, Yeah,
without a doubt. Again, the Enthusiast package for LOS Champs. It's a great one to invest in. It just kind of keeps the league rolling, keeps the future very bright for this league. So as whoever wants to show their support, that is a fantastic opportunity to do that. But back in the game, we got BBU Orangatang, UT Adverse, ready to go at it here. We'll get started again in just a moment here, but both teams, like we said, Joseph, are just hungry for that win tonight. We'll just see what they can do. It's really going to throw everything they have on the table. This marks the middle of the season. This is week 4, so they're going to be putting everything they have out there tonight.
Definitely. I mean, same thing with the first series. This is the game that really kind of decides the season's momentum going forward. If you're BBU Orangatang and you get a loss right now, you're now forced to the bottom of, the standings, and you now have to battle hard the rest of the season to get back into a position where you feel comfortable. If they win, it puts them in a position where now they've split it 50-50. They can at least breathe easy knowing that they didn't give up more than they've gained, and that they can walk away a little bit prouder knowing that they were able to fix the mistakes that they had early in the season and capitalize when they needed to. And like I said, being a pesky bunch, I think can maybe help them, separate that differential. If we see some good demos, we see some good separation on the field. But like you said, UT Adverse is no team to bat an eyelash at and forget about in any way, shape, or form. They have some players that you definitely know are going to come out on any given day and give you a nice, good performance that you're going to be proud of. Not too often that you see players of that caliber really stumble, because this isn't the first time they've been there. This isn't the first time they've been in this type of situation. And in all honesty, in this type of situation, it's almost more forgiving, because you don't have to worry about that top level of, if you don't win, you might not even be on the team next year. Or you might not be on the team next week. Let me rephrase that, because as everybody knows, in RLCS, you know, those rosters have been changing an awful lot. And on any given day, any of you could also make your way up to it. So do not forget that as long as you continue to play at that top level of play that you can provide, you stay calm, you stay composed, you keep your mental in check, and you look at that brighter horizon and understand that one loss isn't going to define you as a player. It's not going to define your team. But what it will do is it'll get you start thinking on what you can do to help define what needs to be fixed. And that's the beautiful thing about this. And, you know, I was talking about this earlier with you, Pandy. I mean, for me, this is a passion. It's not just a game for me. I get to do this in my everyday life. I'm an educator, you know. I get to teach young kids everything that is happening here with esports. I get to go and brighten their days, you know, introduce them to all these different titles, show them levels of diversity, see them communicating, seeing them stepping out of their comfort zone. And you see these students that are absolute mouses. They're just tiny. They're quiet voices at the beginning of the season. And all of a sudden, by the end of the season, they have just bursted out and they became an absolute star in their own right. They became leaders and they've just really developed themselves into what I would like to call a helpful member of society. So, you know, as long as they're learning core developed skills and they're able to move forward with what they're learning in these video games, I think that's most important. But I'm pretty sure we are about ready for the action.
Yeah, we have two teams. UT Adverse, BBU, Orangatang. We have MBeast Adverse and P-Man representing UT Adverse. And BBU Orangatang representing OWAM, Laggy Puppy, and Mega Zero. We've seen these players around many different places. BBU Orangatang, very, very strong unit. That's going to be tough for UT Adverse to deal with here. Unfortunately, it seems like we don't have comp tonight for this matchup. But again, UT Adverse looking to take down this BBU Orangatang team. We're going to see Orangatang play pretty fast, pretty strong. They're going to play physical, jump all over the ball. I have no doubt this series is going to be very close, but 300 seconds on the clock, and it's ready to ball.
Absolutely, and we're already seeing both teams kind of playing a little bit even out the gate, not one team giving up more than the other. And we'll see something. Someone's got to give and something's got to break eventually. We'll see what happens in this game as we see BBU Orangatang try and take a shot on goal and another on goal, but they are not able to capitalize.
Adverse out of their own half. Big demo coming up from O1, but the time demos is one thing that's really going to hurt Orangatang tonight. We know that they are pretty physical, but it has to come at the right time, especially against a team as skilled as UT Adverse. The demos are really helpful, but when it throws off your rotations is when it's dangerous. But that midfield pass from Laggy Puppy will set up Mega Zero beautifully and start at the scoring.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. What a beautiful passing play. And Mega Zero capitalizes. BBU Orangatang, that pesky bunch is out in front.
Beautiful start for them. We saw some stacking in the net from UT Adverse. That's a tough position to be in, especially with how much offense that was being presented from the BBU Orangatang team. But this again is tier 1, so both these teams are going to take a second to kind of get their feet in the ground and set to and ready to drive. But there's a chance. MB slash back for UT Adverse, but again, that offense from Laggy Puppy and squad is just too much to handle for the first part of this game.
As we talked about before this series started, like I said, BBU Orangatang definitely knows how to handle themselves on the offensive side, but that's that defensive side that gets me a little worried. They're putting themselves up, they're putting themselves in a comfortable position, but now they need to make sure that they hold on and not give it right back to UT Adverse.
Seems like right now their offensive possessions have been very strong. They haven't given away many chances, as that was actually the first one, but the demo brought it right back in the hands of Orangatang. Laggy Puppy, another shot on net. It'll be 2 for 2, and Orangatang up 3-0.
And this bunch, they're looking steady, and it's looking a little easy for them out there right now, like they've been here before. I'm just saying, they're looking good, and this is only game 1. I'm glad to know that this is our top level of play. And like I said, I'm hoping to go 5 games tonight. I'm not just looking for 3 and done like we saw in Series 1. I'm looking to see top level of play through and through. Right now, BBU Orangatang has the momentum, but with this type of level of play, UT Adverse can turn it around in the drop of a dime.
You see the demos coming out again from this BBU offense. OWAM, big 50, Laggy Puppy there to respond. And it's Adverse almost got a finger on it in the net, but Laggy Puppy is going to be good for a hat trick.
once again, BBU Orangutan. And I love how you call out that hat trick. It's just, we're getting one a game. It's literally, it's so beautiful. I'm just going to say that. Thank you very much to everybody in this league for making sure that you are just bringing it when you show up on the screen.
Laggy Puppy tonight saying, I want to be the very best. That one just is able to sneak in the right side. The response from UT Adverse just enough to get themselves on the board.
UT Adverse finds an opportunity and sneaks it over the head of the defender, and they are getting a little bit closer now with 2:53 on the clock.
So scoring finally started for UT Adverse. The possessions have been strongly in the favor of BBU Orangutan and Beast. Putting some pressure there in the corner of the Orangutan corner. Adverse midfield touch. Nobody there from UT Adverse. Mega Zero to scoop up that rotation. Here's a 1v1 and Beast able to handle it in front of the net. Again, Owamp off the side wall. P-Man able to just hang it on there. So that was a really close chance. Laggy Puppy already just putting a lot of pressure on. We're seeing Adverse trying to be a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical with their touches, but BBU, like we kind of predicted, is going to be the faster team to the ball right now. MB's putting some pressure on the net. It's actually Laggy Puppy that had to stretch out and make a save there. Adverse, the touch on the side of the net. That one just, again, saved away from Laggy Puppy. Laggy Puppy, just a standout player so far for BBU. Mega Zero, big clear. Maybe some offense back the other way. Adverse just can't find it in the net. The crossbar helps them out just a little bit. It'll be 5 goals for BBU.
So far, it is looking like BBU Orangutan is just really showing up and showing out right now. Like a roaring beast, they are really making it happen.
BBU Orangutan, we predicted them to be a really tough force to stop, and this is kind of just showing to what it is. Mega Zero is just going to have an easy shot on net. Laggy Puppy, again, just getting physical in the net. And this one, a bit of a blowout in the first game. We didn't really expect it to be that lopsided of a scoreline, but we kind of said earlier that Adverse is kind of the highest ranked player on this team by a pretty wide margin. It is Comp and Adverse. The other 3 players still very skilled, but not quite at that skill level that Adverse and Comp presents. So it's going to be tough for this team to be one together, be a cohesive unit, as we've kind of said that phrase a lot so far tonight. But it seems like BBU Orangutan just has that team chemistry that they need. UT Adverse is just trying to find it. Adverse is trying to find a way to play with his teammates right now. MB's just trying to get a clear out, maybe some offense going. We know UT Adverse can score. We know that they can make these plays awkward. There's a chance again, but just that really good rotations, just holding this team in an iron grip right now. BBU still on the offensive here.
Absolutely. We've already seen that Dodrio of hat tricks. Let's get a Dodrio. Can we get a third one in here? Please send it my way. I would love to see it.
2 hat tricks for Orangutan. Another chance. Mega Zero is going to drop this one in front of the net. Adverse, great agility there in the net. Able to get it there. Laggy Puppy, the double tap, just wide of the net. Still 6 goals in favor of Orangutan this game. Strong win so far for Orangutan, barring a crazy comeback, but still 6 goals is a lot of offense to deal with right now. 14 shots for Orangutan is a really tough force to stop for Adverse as of now. But still, 5-game series, plenty of time to work with, but an alarming win for Orangutan in the first game.
Absolutely. They came out swinging super heavy-handed, and it paid out in their favor as there's less than 10 seconds dwindling on the clock, and they are still knocking on the doorstep of UT Adverse. Can they get it? Unfortunately, they do not. And looks like we are going to see a BBU Orangutan victory here in Game 1.
Oh, I'm just trying to keep this ball up. Maybe a Brazil chance, but ultimately this is a Game 1 victory in favor of Orangutan. A lot more of a lopsided win as we could have predicted, but a great showing for BBU to start this one out. We know that UT Adverse has some really strong players in Orangutan, just getting there, knocking them around and handling them really well. That's a really good game for them. 15 shots on goal, really tough one for UT Adverse to handle with 7 shots. there, but Adverse, again, just kind of the facilitator for this UT Adverse team, trying to get themselves in the groove, trying to find out how this orangutan team plays, just trying to find their secrets as of right now, but the secrets are still in the back pocket of Orangutan.
Let's see if UT Adverse can find a way to break out of their shell and evolve into a new level of themselves, because right now, BBU Orangutan has their number, and man, 15 shots on goal, that is not something easy to match.
Yeah, 15 shots is just a lot of offense, especially with how quickly those shots come in hordes. It's really hard for this Adverse team to handle right now. Like we said, there's 15 shots, but it's a 5-minute game, so that's 3 shots a minute. I mean, think about it, that's 1 shot every 20 seconds on average, but we know that that's not exactly the case here. We see when Orangutan gets the ball on offense, they're going to put 4, 5, 6 shots on at a time, and at a point, it becomes too hard to stay calm in your net, too hard to handle, and it just ultimately ends up in a goal pretty much every time that we have seen it. But Adverse, we see them on the doorstep, we see them just barely not able to keep the ball out of their net. And we saw that one time they did, they scored. So we've seen plenty of chances for them. We'll probably see some more here, but Laggy Puppy, unfortunate miss on the defender in net, and the orange team, BBU Orangutan, will strike first again.
As much as we'd like to see them turn into a bigger beast, UT Adverse is once again on the opposition as BBU Orangutan is back in favor going into game 2 in this best of 5.
P-Man off the kickoff, trying to get back to work. Oh man, that read was just almost on the net. Adverse and a reel in a possession here in the midfield, back to the corner once again. Demo forced him to go back. P-Man's gonna have a chance here. After this first try just goes wide of the net, the second one will fall.
Just like that, P-Man was able to find a rare candy in his back pocket and level up, and it is now 1-1, 4:37 on the clock.
Fantastic start for UT Adverse. Despite the early goal, they took it right back and responded quickly. M-Beast is going to have a chance. Big 50 Adverse is there to slam it in. M-Beast had no business going for that ball, and he noticed that. He was just going to say, I choose you, Adverse. You're scoring this one, and it goes right in the net.
UT Adverse now on top for the first time in this matchup. Let's see if they can continue to just push forward as they are starting to look like they are figuring it out. Nice boom downfield.
It just seems like UT Adverse is just starting to give Adverse some space to work. But despite that, BBU Orangutan again, Laggy Puppy doing it all himself. Unfortunately, the last 2 back for UTA just couldn't quite get the touch. Open the net wide up for Laggy Puppy, who's basically done everything for this team so far in this game, despite the assist from Mega Zero, but still, BBU Orangutan keeping this game tied. As I say that, Caster Curse, Mega Zero's there to score. BBU has their first lead.
BBU Orangutan back out in front. They are doing a great job here in this series thus far, finding a way to slow down UT Adverse and now finding a way to get in front. Can you believe that there's been less than a minute that's came off the clock and we already have 5 shots that have hit the back of net?
5 shots make it 6 in the first minute. OWAM is there for the first time of this series for their first goal. BBU goes up 2.
OWAM says, I want to be the very best that no one ever was, and I'm going to hit the back of goal and put my team 1 more up. It is officially 4-2, 4:02 on the clock.
Adverse back to work again off the kickoff. Adverse is just trying to respond. UT Adverse, that is trying to respond to just the onslaught of shots that are continuously being put on for BBU Orangutan. Shot totals pretty close still so far. 5 in the favor of Orangutan, 3 in the favor of Adverse, but Adverse again is trying to work this one through the corner. Laggy Puppy maybe looking for a teammate in the midfield, but nobody there to receive that call. OWAM to the corner, maybe trying to find a midfield pass, but Adverse there, read it early. Laggy Puppy just trying to demo trap some players, a little toxic there, but that's a strat. Demos are a strat as much as people don't like to admit it. But still, 4-2 lead, a lot of pressure. Just how quickly Orangutan is playing this game right now. It just seems like it has UT Adverse just playing in circles. Mega Zero, the fake touch, will call it. Laggy Puppy read it early. The great communication from BBU Orangutan will make it 5-2.
Laggy Puppy with another hat trick. Mega Zero having 3 assists. This team is feeding each other. And I'm telling you right now, they are looking really good. BBU Orangutan coming out swinging a lot heavier than I thought. They got a chance to send them home packing early if they continue this level of aggression.
Still 3 minutes to go on the clock. 180 seconds for folks watching the stream. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties with the on-stream scoreboard. We run in seconds here at LOS Champs, but still, 5-2 lead. Still about an entire half of this game to go. We've seen 7 goals already, Joseph. Adverse trying to make that 8, but that touch not quite strong enough. Mega Zero there to handle it well in the corner. Owam touch. Passed one through neutral. Another P-Man. Big dunk for Owam. The double tap. Not going to go. M-Beast trying to make this thing less awkward off the backboard, but P-Man is there for the clear. M-Beast. Corner. No touch. Mega Zero. Big clear. Back on offense for Orangutan. Still a 3-goal lead. M-Beast, Adverse, and P-Man just looking to try and get some offense going. They need 3 goals for at least a tie, but BBU Orangutan still playing this keep away ball game. Owam beat by Adverse. Double tap, not going to go. Owam's going to have pressure put on them, but again, stays calm with that rotation. Good field vision, hearing that player behind them going for the demo, trying to force it into the net. And again, BBU just still another step ahead.
Mega Zero trying to come down for a tap on it, but wasn't able to do so. Leggy Puppy right back on top of it. Leggy Puppy's been doing a lot out here tonight on the field. Has 2 hat tricks already here in this series. And we are just seeing BBU Orangutan really just take control of the field. They're doing a tremendous job defensively, which is one thing that they were struggling with coming into this series.
Yeah, just the demos are just too much for this UT Adverse defense to deal with right now. We kind of expected this. As I said before this series started, Orangutan plays very chaotic, hard to read. They are extremely, extremely demo heavy. And Adverse is just, they're trying to slow the game down and play their own speed. But the demo playstyle that Orangutan presents is just the perfect counter to this. This isn't a blowout because BBU is that much better than this Adverse team. It just seems like the playstyle just really, really favors Orangutan right now. Adverse just trying to get some offense going. The flick touch, not going to be enough past the post. That's got to be frustrating. You're going to want to take that one back. The post again. 4th man for BBU. Laggy Puppy just kind of playing some keep away, maybe trying to find a 7th goal there, but again, Adverse just looking to get his team back in this one mentally, as it is so easy to let the mental slip after 2 really big losses here. But still, go on game point here, or series point here. They still have some chances to bring this thing back, despite the fact that these wins have been really strong in favor of BBU. Laggy Puppy makes it 5 goals on 6 shots. BBU has a 7th goal.
Like a misty rain, Leggy Puppy continues to trickle it on, and they are now up 7-2, and UT Adverse just not have an answer.
Yeah, UT Adverse just trying to just stay in the game right now. The speed is just way in favor of BBU Orangutan as of right now. But BBU Orangutan, this is a big one for them. They need this game 3 to go their way to get back to 500 on the season here, Joseph. You see UT Adverse at 2-1, Orangutan at 1-2, looking further like it will be a 2-2, but we still have an entire another game to go. But I mean, both these games have been decided by 5 goals. That's no small margin.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to say, BBU Orangutan is coming out like I hoped they would. I really thought that they'd be the hot-handed team coming into this series, but I didn't think that they would come out swinging like this. Right now, they are looking really good. But I want to let you know we are in the process of making an adjustment. It looks like Comp is now coming into the game, which only brings a much greater level of play. And if you're BBU Orangutan, you gotta be a little scared right now.
Comp is not a player to mess with. This guy literally placed, he was in the top 4 for CRL Worlds. This guy knows how to play this game. It's going to accompany Adverse very well, as well as MBeast, who is staying around here in this game. But again, 2 huge wins, 2 5-goal victories for BBU Orangutan. Well, yes, Comp is coming in. Comp is a CRL Worlds Elite, as we are seeing that title come through. BBU Orangutan is feeling really good right now. They've got 2 5-goal victories in a row. This is game 3. Ultimately, they are on series point. They need 1 more to take this thing, get themselves back to 500, so their mentals are higher than they probably have ever been this entire season. But Comp, making their way in, is going to need a fantastic showing here alongside Adverse and MBeast in order to have a chance to bring this thing back.
And you're already seeing the field get stretched a little bit more from UT Adverse as the game has just started. Comp already making a difference, as you can see, just understanding where he needs to put the ball on the field to get the outcome that his team needs. We'll see if that can continue to play out here in this series.
You see the eyebrows raised from BBU Orangutan as soon as Comp joined this lobby. The pace of this game has changed ever since he joined on the field. Adverse, double tap, tight angle, flip reset, not doing their. Comp, wide open, net chance. What happened to the orange defense? UT Adverse will take a lead.
And the man comes in and he makes some noise. Comp, there you go. Read it and weep if you're BBU Orangutan, because he is in the game, and now you got to find a way to slow him down and take him out.
The change of pace happened so quickly. The momentum shifted straight back to UT Adverse. The flick for Comp is enough to get it in the net. It's 2 goals on 2 shots, only 55 seconds in.
What a turnaround. This is what happens when you get a player the level of caliber as Comp. They come in and they change the entire dynamic of the field. What you thought you knew doesn't even matter anymore, because it's not the strategy that's going to play out, because you got a different player with a different level of play and a different level of pace.
Laggy Puppy just trying to get this momentum back in the favor of BBU Orangutan. They still have 2 games, 2 5-goal victories on their hands. Laggy Puppy, the receiving end of that pass. Beautiful play to get the scoring started. The 2-goal lead is cut to 1. Nice
pass there by Mega Zero, and Laggy Puppy doing what he has done best throughout this series, finding the back of net. They are now back within 1, 3:44 left on the clock.
Absolutely beautiful play for BBU Orangutan. Owam off the kickoff, looking to continue to add that pressure. The dunk almost in, but just goes by the wayside. Comp, again, just solo man on this play. 405 score so far in this game. Nobody else in the lobby has come even close to that. So that shows how good this player is. Comp up off the backboard. The double tap will be slammed down. 3 goals for Comp. Only a minute and a half in.
Man came in and immediately grabbed himself a hat trick. Would you look at that? Comp is here to stay.
This guy, an absolute momentum shifter for UT Adverse. This is why they are 2-1. Comp, just the shining light that this team needed. We'll call him the super sub for tonight, but another huge save for Comp. BBU Orangutan just trying to get themselves back in order. It's like a tornado just came through and wiped out their entire neighborhood. They just don't know what to do. Comp is just rolling through everyone on the field as of right now, but finally some offense back the other way. Owam is there to score. We see 2 goals back for BBU Orangutan, and the lead is cut again to 1.
BBU Orangutan understands they cannot let this get too far away from them. They know what they brought to the table since this game started, and they know that they can keep that level of aggression, but the reality of it is you have to find a way to remove Comp out of the equation as often as possible, whether that's a bump, whether that's a demo, whether that's just a nice transition or pass that puts your team in the right position. You gotta do something.
Yeah, BBU Orangutan just trying to prevent the self-destruction. I wouldn't even say self-destruction, but Comp destruction that is causing on this field as of right now. That's not to discredit Adverse and MBeast. They are alongside Comp very well, but Laggy Puppy just kind of making me eat my words just a little bit, and this game will be back tied.
we have a ball game. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats because there's still half of a game left to go. And it is like the game just started all over again. The momentum is in no one's favor anymore because both teams are starting to figure it out a little bit more. But Comp is still the fresh man on campus, and that fresh level of thinking could really be the difference maker in this one.
M-Beast, side wall for UT Adverse. The offense still rolling in the orange half. Comp to the corner. Owam, good clear there to the side wall. Adverse there receiving end of that pass back. Midfield to Comp, the shot on the net. Laggy Puppy just able to keep it out again. That facilitator for BBU Orangutan just trying to keep it. Big pass play. Owam, no double tap. Laggy Puppy, another chance to the midfield, but still that backboard denial. Still good for this UTA offense. The shot from M-Beast will fall in the net. Their first one of the series. It'll be a 4-3 lead for UTA.
M-Beast finding a way to get involved at the right time, putting his team up by 1:45 on the clock, and UT Adverse is starting to look a little bit more like a squad right now as they finally have their leader and Comp out there, and he is making it happen, and he is organizing the troops, and you're seeing the results.
We can call it organized chaos. This entire series has been 2 huge wins in favor of Orangutan. A new player joins in for UT Adverse, and the script has changed. Comp there, another big save on the net. 800 score for Comp so far. Still a minute and a half to play. Laggy Puppy, dangerous shot on the net. Another chance on the back door, just not going to go. Possession solo for Comp. Down to the corner, kind of loses it, but the bump on the defense is going to be tough to handle. Adverse. 50, no goes. Owam, big flick. Again, the demo is going to force Owam to go back, take 33 and reset. Adverse. And have a solo play back the other way. Flick. Zero is there in the corner, there in the net to keep it out. M-Beast, fortunately, just can't find the touch there. Can't reel it in. A little bit of a stacking rotation there. Side wall. Owam, pinch down to Comp. Going to have another double tap chance, but the good positioning from Laggy Puppy and the Orangutan defense will keep it out for the time being. 40 seconds to go. Still a goal needed for Orange.
As UT aims to overcome this adversity, BBU Orangutan comes right back swinging, and it is now 4-4, 34 seconds on the clock. And just like Team Rocket, they are blasting off again.
So many chances for both teams thus far. We see 10 shots for BBU Orangutan and 8 for Adverse Comp. Sidewall looking to end this thing here and now. 30 seconds to go, but flip reset again. Owam is going to have an open net chance. M-Beast is there just to reel it back in the double tap. No go. Comp back the other way. Mega Zero, last man back against Comp. Flip reset, not going to go. It's again good shutdown from Mega Zero on the defensive end. 12 seconds to go. Adverse has to have this win, otherwise BBU advances to 2-2 on the season. Comp, sidewall, 70 boost, ceiling shot, the pinch goes down, and we will have overtime here in Game 3.
I did not see this coming. Comp comes in and changes the tune entirely like a flash of the pan. It has been a whole new ball game here for UT Adverse, and they're doing what they can to try to come back. Down 2 in this best of 5. My goodness, that was a good shot, but even better defend.
Adverse, pre-jump from Comp, looking for one midfield. Comp trying to get the freestyle shot. Laggy Puppy, wide open net to work with. Owam just trying to get an offensive rotation back the other way. Wide open net, but Comp is there to shut it down. So much offense so far in this overtime. Adverse, flip reset. Down to the hands of Laggy Puppy and Beast to the backboard. Owam, dangerous touch, misses it, but Adverse is going to be back to the corner again. Rotation and offense. Possession back in the favor of UTA, but again, Orangutan. It seems like every clear that is being put on from UT Adverse is just responded quickly in the midfield by Orangutan. This still overtime in favor of both teams, I would say, because it is tied here in overtime, but Orangutan is in a more comfortable position here. 2-0 lead. Adverse, UT Adverse, that is, has to have this win. Laggy Puppy to the corner. Flick. Not going to go past Comp. M-Beast, the chance. Owam is going to have a dangerous possession. The double tap. Not going to go, but it's going to be just enough to muscle it in the net. Despite what we saw with Comp coming in, Orangutan is going to be able to seal the deal.
What a series by BBU Orangutan. They found a way to overcome the beast that is Comp. Even though he came in and immediately put a hat trick on the board, it was not enough to stomp out BBU Orangutan, and they won this series. And they are now sitting 50-50 in our standings, and that's got to be a comfortable spot to be. And you gotta take, like I say, a nice deep breath of fresh air, knowing that you are now in a much more comfortable spot, and knowing that you came out playing like that has to say something.
Yeah, and that's just a fantastic way to just put an exclamation point end to the series. We see Comp come in, put in 3 goals right off the bat. Orangutan was like, okay, this guy's good. He's going to change the pace of this whole series. We know what this guy is capable of. We just have to find the best way to approach him right now. And the key to that was to not give Comp any space. And once they saw him put in a few goals, they were like, okay, we just got to shut this guy down. And like you said, about the 2-minute mark in or so, we saw Comp had plenty of space to work with. But once you said, hey, these guys need to stop giving him space, they need to get physical, they need to just try to take him out of the equation for UT Adverse, they did just that. They were able to get themselves in the best possible chance to get 3 goals back, get it back even, and finally muscle that way through there in overtime. Despite the scare with Comp coming in, just a fantastic win for them overall, and it's going to be a big one to get them back to 500.
Definitely. That is exactly where you want to be at this time of the season. When you kind of start to fall a little short, you want to make sure that you can come back and capitalize in those opportunities when they're provided for you. And that's exactly what they did there in that series. BBU Orangutan coming out on top. We're about to get Leggy Puppy in here for a quick interview. How you doing there, Leggy Puppy?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. That was quite a series to watch. BBU Orangutan, when I looked at that stat line, defensively, it looked like you guys were struggling coming into the series. What was it that really turned around for you guys to really make that differential coming into this series, and then even more so when Comp stepped on the field?
Well, at the start of the series, we kind of realized that it was just unfortunate that they had to play their sub. So I feel like they weren't all there with the chemistry, so we were able to just take advantage of that. And yeah. And then when Comp stepped up, it was a massive change of pace, and they started fixing like everything. So kind of caught us off guard at first, but we got back to it.
So, like you guys have been playing together for a while. You guys competed last season in Season 0. You guys competed in the Invitational Tournament. You guys have been playing together for a while. So what is it when you see Comp step on the field? You see that huge change of pace. You guys have 2 5-goal wins. He comes in, scores 3 goals right away. You guys know you guys have been playing together for a long time. What kind of was it to get that mental reset? What did it take for you guys to get that groove back going that you had in the first 2 games?
Well, we just started treating everything differently. We just like pretty much our minds weren't really there from the first 2 games, because like not trying to be toxic, but it was a little easier, right? So coming into that, and then he was able to do a lot with the ball, and it really threw us off. So we just started expecting more from him, and we're able to play around it a lot better because of that.
Definitely. And I mean, knowing that you were going up against players of that caliber, like you said, there was technical difficulties and all that. Do you think if Comp would have been playing from game 1, do you think that would have really just changed the entirety of that series? And do you think that you guys still would have been able to capitalize the way that you did?
I think we still would have been able to win that, because they still do have like their weaknesses, as do we, but we were able to spot those weaknesses. And I'm not sure if they saw ours and just weren't able to take advantage of them as well. But it would have been a more difficult series. They might have caught a game on us or something, but I still think we had that series.
Yeah, it's great confidence to have there, taking that series in a sweep, like you said. But you guys are back to 2-2. That's a huge win for you guys. What's kind of the key for you guys to kind of move forward for the future?
Well, first of all, I need to actually show up for the next game, because I wasn't there the last one. And yeah, I haven't been on Rocket League too much recently, so I think if we start playing a little bit more together, we'll be just fine for the next series.
Cool. Well, yeah, you guys are back to 500. You're kind of back in a new spot, kind of the middle of the pack in Tier 1. All these teams early, successful, but again, congratulations on the win. That's a huge one. You kind of facilitated your team to get back in the groove of things. I can't wait to see what you guys have more of. I'm actually playing against you in a couple weeks, hopefully. But I'm part of Moo Moo Meadows, so we played last season. We played a lot. But again, floor is yours. If you have any shout-outs, congratulations on the win.
Shout out to you. You're nuts. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thanks again, Laggy Puppy. Congratulations on the win. Folks, that's Laggy Puppy, the MVP of this series without a doubt. Congratulations to BBU Orangutan getting back to 500 on the clean sweep. Joseph, that's 2 series down, 2 sweeps. Hopefully we get some more action in the next one without a doubt. But Joseph, we still got one more. We still got one more series to go. 14-minute break. We'll be right back. You're not going to want to miss it.